It's insane. 30 billion really seems high. The Unity valuation is just complete bonkers, and you really can't use that as an anchor. Minecraft would probably be the best comp, but Microsoft owns that. I mean, it's a rounding error when it comes to, Microsoft. Roblox, this company has basically 4x'd its value in the past few months. I do think that their original price at around $8 billion was kind of the rumored valuation to go public, was absolutely low. When I was reviewing all the platforms in Q4 that were going public, Roblox was easily my favorite choice, hands down. That was an easy decision. DoorDash and Airbnb and all the other things that came out around the same period, they ended up going through with their IPO. Roblox called it off, I think smartly. And now they're looking at a direct listing, so it's not actually an IPO anymore. But long story short, where do you want to buy in on Roblox? What are the comps on Roblox? It's a little bit harder to get the right comps on this. Minecraft would probably be the best comp, but Microsoft owns that. So it's not publicly traded. I mean, it's a rounding error when it comes to, Microsoft's overall profile. So what are the other comps? The media will like to say that Unity is a comp for Roblox. And if you look at Unity, you'd say, yeah, $30 billion, which is the rumored Roblox listing price. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But I really don't think Unity is the best comp. They have a $40 billion market cap. Okay, this is nuts. $40 billion market cap. Look, the company's doing like a $800 million run rate. It's insane. I don't even if they're doing $1 billion in revenue, which they haven't released Q4, you don't know. What are they going to do? Pop to $250 million revenue in Q4? Even if you annualize that out and you say, okay, yeah, they got $1 billion run rate, which they don't. That's a 40x revenue multiple. I mean, that is bonkers. Unity and Roblox are very different. They're similar in the sense that you can build gaming experiences on top of them. But where it's very different is this kind of metaverse that Roblox has created, and the way that Roblox has all of these bookings relative to revenue. So when we covered Roblox a few months ago now, some of the key takeaways here was that the company is just printing money. And why are they printing money? Well, that is because bookings, they don't consider revenue. Bookings is this number. About $1.25 billion for the first 9 months of 2020. Bookings is I essentially paid real money to buy Roblox money, right? So I have now given Roblox $10 and I've received $10 worth of what they call Robux. So now that money has been received by Roblox. They've acknowledged it as bookings. You can kind of think about it as like GMV. It's not totally the same thing as GMV, but you could kind of loosely make the leap to consider it a GMV-esque number where there is some correlation between GMV to revenue. Their point here is that bookings is a kind of forward-looking indicator of where revenue will be. Revenue is considered, hey, I spent the Robux to buy this item. Or, I spent the Robux in the game. Now that revenue has actually been actualized and actually booked as revenue. That is actually this number, this 588. So they had about 1.25 billion in bookings for the first 9 months of 2020, but they had a little under $600 million in revenue. So it's, maybe call it 45% of bookings is revenue. So why is that, interesting here? Because when you actually look at the company's free cash flow, when you actually look at, why this company is printing money, it's because of that bookings dynamic. When you actually look at their actual P&L, you'll see here that it's losses. But when you actually look at free cash flow, they're just printing cash. Because they're actually, yeah, okay, you lost, a couple $100 million. But you just took in double the revenue, right, in cash, in bookings, and that's just kind of sitting there. And what is the expense to Roblox when Robux get actualized? Nothing. It's just like this sword was purchased, literally ones and zeros. So that's kind of the beautiful part of the business. That's why I was so bullish on the business at $8 billion. Let's take a look at some other comps, which I think are a little bit better than Unity. You can look at Zynga, another social gaming business here, $11 billion market cap. They've been on fire throughout 2020, about a $2 billion revenue, up, call it 50% year over year for each quarter. They're just, they're doing very well because of COVID, and as are all of these kinds of gaming companies and, companies benefiting from lockdowns and all this kind of stuff. So, $2 billion revenue, you got a, 11 and a half, almost $12 billion company. You got a 5 to 6x revenue multiple on Zynga. Okay, what's another one? Let's look at Blizzard. They make World of Warcraft. They make StarCraft. They make a bunch of different games. They're a much bigger company. Call it a roughly $8 billion run rate. Quarterly performance, good. You can see it jumping up here. March, it was actually down. Q1, it was down year over year. And then boom, strong bounce back Q2 and Q3 in 2020, back to that roughly 50% year over year growth. So if you got an $8 billion roughly company, because of COVID growing at, call it 50% year over year. These are big bumps, gang. You got a 9x revenue multiple. So if Zynga's in the 5 to 6, Blizzard's in the 9 range. Where would Roblox be at 30 billion? Okay, compared to Unity's 40x revenue multiple, and that's even me giving them a very generous rounding up on their run rate. Roblox would be at, don't know where their Q4 is going to end up, but let's say they can pull off a monster Q4. Let's just say they get to $1 billion run rate again, which they're not going to get to $1 billion run rate. Okay, but let's just say, just to make the numbers easy, $1 billion run rate, $30 billion valuation, 30x. Okay, this would be the saving grace to me. Would be if you actually look at the bookings. If you actually say, if the bookings are a little more than double revenue, could you get this thing to in the 1.5, in the 1.5 to $2 billion bookings for the calendar year ending in 2020? And I do think, I think they'll definitely be in the 1.5. Are they closer to 1.5 or 2 billion in the bookings? I don't know. It's not technically revenue. So at 10x GMV, you consider bookings GMV, which is not totally, but even at 10x, if they do 2 billion in bookings, which is not revenue, which they probably are not going to do 2 billion in bookings, and you do 10x bookings multiple, it's still just a $20 billion company. 30 billion seems high to me. That's where I'm netting out on this. 30 billion really seems high. I love the company. Company is going to do fantastic. The Unity valuation is just complete bonkers, and you really can't use that as an anchor. When you look at, even if you say these guys should command, we're jumping in and out of a bunch of different platform types. This is not apples to apples, right? Tinder, which we just were talking about, if they're at a 15 to 20x revenue multiple, and this company, Roblox, can get to $1 billion run rate, which I don't think they're going to do. Okay, right? Simple math. That's a $15 to $20 billion valuation. If you 10x bookings, also a stretch, you're at 20. To me, 20 really seems like the upper boundary for where I would feel comfortable on Roblox. I can't tell you, right? The public markets, right? I mean, they can do whatever they want. You can play that game if you want, but 30 billion seems high to me on Roblox. Company is amazing. 30 billion seems high. Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.